Howdy folks, good morning, and I find myself again at a very familiar place. We are here at the Proton Center of Excellence, and in my sights is this Pradana. This is the first generation Pradana, and many have actually asked in terms of buying a used car. Let's say you're scoping for a used car to buy cash because you don't want any monthly payments, or maybe you just need a spare car to run around on weekends. Maybe you need a spare car because you already have a company car. Who knows? There are many reasons why you might want to buy a second car for cash, or even a third car, a fourth car for cash. And today I'm gonna give you a few tips on what to look for when you're buying a used car. Now, as you know, I've bought quite a few in recent memory, and let's take a look at this Pradana, for example. Now, the first thing, any car, okay, I'm just using this Pradana as an example, but any car that you choose, one of the first things you want to know or look out for is originality, okay? If possible, it's going to be quite difficult, but because a lot of these cars, any make, any brand, any variant, usually have some owner upgrades. Okay, that's a nice way of saying modifications. All right, owners tend to want to upgrade their cars, change certain things, and one of the most, we'll start from the outside, one of the most common things to change are the wheels. Now, there's really nothing wrong with changing the wheels. These are the original wheels that came with the Pradana. They are alloys, of course, but only 16-inch. However, many people have already upgraded to, I'm sorry, these are 15s, my bad. I've forgotten these are 15s, yeah. So as you can see, there's a lot of space, so many people have gone to 16s, 17s, maybe even 18s. Now, general rule of thumb is the inch up philosophy, okay? The inch up philosophy is 15, go to 16. 16, if the original, go to 17. 17, if the original, go to 18. Now, if you go an inch up, it's usually not that detrimental to the overall well-being of the car. It's still okay. So the inch up philosophy should be adhered to, actually. So if your car originally comes with 15s, maybe you can go 16s. If it came originally with 16s, maybe you can go 17s. The E36 I bought recently, it had originally 15s. The previous owner had upgraded it to 18s. Now that's 3 inches up, which is actually too much, okay? So, okay, rims aside, the body. The main thing you want to look for when it comes to buying a used car is a straight body. When I mean a straight body, what do I mean by a straight body? Look at that shoulder line. This is the shoulder line, okay? It should line up perfectly. From the end to the front, from the front to the end, it should line up perfectly, okay? Because that was how it was made in the factory. However, if the car has had an accident before, you'll be able to tell one way is the shoulder line will not match up. Another telltale sign would be the gapping. What's gapping? This is gapping. This line on the bonnet should be absolutely symmetrical, as well as this line on the door. The gap from here, I'm talking about this gap, yeah? From here to here should be perfect and absolutely the same. If the car has had an impact, it's very hard to get this gapping right, okay? The gap on this side should be absolutely the same as the gap on this side, all right? So obviously this car is accident free because it's here at Proton COE, and so its lines are straight. Another thing, older cars, maybe 80s cars, 70s cars, look for rust, especially here. This is where the most rust usually occurs because your tires flick up a lot of debris, which scars the metal. It's actually painted metal, but it will scar this metal, causing the paint to flake and bare metal to be opened up. So rust can actually appear here, under here, and the floorboards. If at all possible, look under the car, because floorboards are basically a flat piece of metal which can rust very, very easily. Okay, so check the footwells. Sorry, the wheel wells. Check the footwells inside. Sorry, the car is locked. Next, the gappings on the bumper should be perfect as well. From here all the way to here. 2 pieces, of course. Sometimes the bumper might have dropped a little bit. That does not necessarily mean it's been in an accident. Clips sometimes fail. The bumper can drop, okay? So that's another thing. If you've ever noticed a Puspacom inspection, they pull this rubber on the inside, they pull it out, and they check this part of the car. What are they looking for? They're looking for kereta sambung. Kereta sambung is a half cut that's been joined together. Half cuts are brought in for parts, okay? They basically cut the car in half, bring in this part. But they also have this part for sale. So sometimes some unscrupulous importers, they will bring both ends in of the same car and then join it back to make one car. And that is called a kereta sambung. That is why Puspacom is very, very, very important. They are actually making sure the car is safe for you to buy, okay? Don't think of them as a hindrance. Think of them as a favor, because they are making sure this car is not a death trap waiting to happen. If a car has been cut in half and then re-welded back again and put back on the road, any impact is going to cause that car to split in 2 easily. So don't be annoyed at them. Be thankful. Right. What else? Engine, gearbox. Now, as I've always said, when you're buying a used car, a service history is always important. But if you buy a used car from a used car dealer, a car that's been traded into a used car dealer, very often they don't have the service history of that car. Sometimes there are those stickers on the windshield that tell you when the car was last serviced, sometimes not. My general rule of thumb and standard operating procedure, if you buy a used car, no matter what, just get all the blood transfused. Engine oil, gearbox oil, if it's a rear wheel drive, axle oil. Check the brakes, check the brake fluid, if it's a manual, check the clutch fluid. All this needs to be done, because the last thing you want is to get a used car and have it break down the day after you get it. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. It's not fun, okay? So think of it this way. Cars are mechanical. Nothing phenomenal, nothing spiritual, nothing magical. They're all mechanical and electrical. Man-made, mechanical, electrical. No faith involved. So get them checked. If possible, take the car to a mechanic friend of yours, let him check it out. Or you know what, buy him lunch, take him to the car, let him check it out. I've done it before, it's worth it. Really is worth it. Pay for his time if need be. It's better in the long run. Now, of course, this is only for a car that you really, really intend on buying. Okay, what else? Mileage. A lot of people claim low mileage, which is fine. Okay, if the car really has low mileage, it's okay. But sometimes it's not. Why? Sometimes a car that has not been used enough is also almost as bad as a car that's been used too much. If a car has high mileage, but it has a good service history, there are good service records, it is still worth considering. Don't forget, my Mercedes-Benz W126 has almost 500,000 kilometers on it. And I know for a fact there are others out there that have even more, and they're still running strong. Engines taken care of, regularly serviced, preventive maintenance measures taken, will last a very, very long time. So, it is very important to find a car that has original mileage, okay? If you suspect the meter has been tampered with, then you need to find out a little bit more. But usually they're not, because it's very difficult to tamper with a meter. Next, interior. Okay, I'm sorry, but I can't get into this car. But as far as interiors are concerned, they will age over time. Some faster than others, but not usually. Mostly it's a uniform kind of aging. You will find that the seat bolsters over there for the driver's seat, the right side seat bolsters are always going to be a bit frayed. because they get the most friction. Driver going in, driver going out, driver going in, driver going out. They get the most friction. Sometimes they are torn. Dashboards. Why are dashboards always cracking in Malaysia? Simple. Our heat. Our heat and humidity kills the material that's used to make a dashboard. So a cracked dashboard is not necessarily the end of buying a car. Dashboards can be fixed. You can always tell when a car's been garaged, when a car's been parked under a porch, or whether the car's been parked in the sun its whole life. The top of the steering wheel will be pitted, worn, faded, sometimes even cracked, as is the dashboard. The dashboard will be the same. So you can tell when a car's been garaged, you can tell when a car's been parked in the open its whole life very, very easily by just looking at the dashboard and the steering wheel. Preferably try to get a car that's been parked in a garage or under a shade or in a porch for the most of its life, because generally those kind of cars would actually have survived our harsh climate a lot better. Right, now, why I emphasize interiors? It goes back to what I've always said. If you're looking to buy a Pradana or a Pradana V6, okay, for that matter, try to find the best example that you can afford. Okay, because think of it this way. Let's say you're looking for this car and you find a really good condition one that costs about 3,000 to 4,000 more than an open market value one, okay, or a used car market value one. Consider it. Don't think, oh yeah, so expensive, I better go and buy the cheaper one. Think of it this way. Let's say you buy this for 14,000 ringgit, or you don't buy this for 14,000 ringgit, but there's one similar for 10, okay? But the condition is a lot worse. You're going to spend probably more than 4,000 ringgit doing it up to that level. So you could have bought a 14,000 ringgit car with nothing to do, instead of buying a 10,000 ringgit car, same model, that's going to cost you 7,000 ringgit more to do up. You get what I mean? Okay, good. Don't worry too much about tires, because tires can be replaced very, very easily, okay? And relatively inexpensively. Just one thing. If a seller says, oh, the tire got a lot of tread left, don't worry. Worry. You know why? This tire could look brand new, but you gotta look at its shelf life, which is in here. Somewhere here. It's usually in here. Somewhere. But I can't seem to find it on this one. But anyway, it looks something like this, and it will tell you the first two digits are the week of the year it was manufactured in, and the last two digits will be the actual year. So if you see 4808, that tire was manufactured in 2008 in the 48th week. All right. If you see 28017, that tire was manufactured on the 8th. Did I say 8? Yeah, on the 8th week of 2017. All right, so 0817, if you see that, 8th week of 2017. That's the easiest way to tell how old a tire is. Generally, if it's 1 or 2 years old, it's fine. If it's more than that, get it changed straight away. Okay, so hope you found this interesting and helpful. Hit me up in the comments if you want to know about anything else. Crash damage, you can always tell, like I told you, with the lines, the way the gaps in the headlights, the gaps of the bonnet, the gaps of the grille versus the bumper. You can always tell when the car's had crash damage quite easily. And straight up ask, I usually do, is this car accident free? But if it's a minor accident, fender bender, forgivable. If it's a major accident where side impacts have caused the frame to bend, to become like a banana shape, do not buy cars like that, okay? Because you'll never get them to run right, no matter what you do. Okay, so I hope you found this informative. Oh, sorry, last thing. A lot of people say the paint's so faded. Paint is the least of your problems, okay? Because paint can be done so easily. So if a car has got faded paint, think of it this way. If it's original paint and completely faded, that car is accident free. It's never been touched up. That's a good thing. So buy it and paint it whatever color you want. All right. So yeah, sometimes it may not look good, but it might be really good under the skin. Sometimes it might look really good and be an absolute horror nightmare under the skin. Yes, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt as well. Okay, take care folks, see you all soon. Bye.